This is Car Inclusive. Have you ever wondered which movie cars were the most iconic in the 1970s? Identifying the greatest 70s cars to be featured in a movie can be quite a daunting task. On one hand, the 70s produced some of the best films based on the idea of car enthusiasm and racing, making some choices a no-brainer. But on the other hand, cars were so special in this period it wouldn't be difficult to make a case for any movie produced during this decade, as they all featured in some way or form iconic cars that are still cherished today. The 70s produced some of the greatest cars of all time. These are some of the best to be featured in a movie. To kick things off, we have Dirty Harry's 1968 Ford Galaxie 500. Dirty Harry Callahan, portrayed by Clint Eastwood, was known for getting the job done, no matter the amount of property damage he caused. In the mean streets of San Francisco, California in the 70s, Callahan was known for prowling the Bay Area in his unmarked 1968 Ford Galaxie 500. Criminals would rebuke the growl of his V8 engine when he came sliding around a corner. According to Automobile Catalog, the Galaxie Police Interceptor was capable of 360 horsepower and produced a neck-breaking 450 pound-feet of torque. It must have been quite hard for Harry to keep a low profile in a car that measured 35 feet long but with 0 to 60 miles per hour time estimated at 6.7 seconds. It won't be difficult to keep pace when his 428 Ford engine blows his cover. Next up is the Le Mans Porsche 917, unanimously considered to be the most realistic racing movie ever. The 1971 film Le Mans stars Steve McQueen as the fictional racer Michael Delaney. Featuring the iconic Porsche 917, Delaney not only clashes with his Porsche teammates but German racer Eric Stoller in the equally stunning Ferrari 512. In a bit of interesting trivia, the Ferrari 512s were supplied by a Belgian distributor after Enzo Ferrari declined to participate, due in large part to the Porsche-heavy favoritism featured in the movie. One could imagine it had something to do with Porsche's back-to-back Le Mans victories in the 1970s and 1971 at the expense of, well, yeah, you guessed it, Enzo and his Ferrari 512. Next up is the French Connection's 1971 Pontiac Le Mans. Often cited to contain the greatest car chase scene of all time, the French Connection follows two NYPD narcotics detectives in pursuit of a wealthy French drug dealer. After narrowly avoiding a French hitman, Gene Hackman, portraying the role of Popeye, gives chase as the hitman boards a train. It's at this point where the iconic scene begins. Hackman's character commandeers a pedestrian's 1971 Pontiac Le Mans and gives chase after the elevated train. As Popeye blisters through the streets of New York, the Pontiac's V8 is more than capable of tailing the subway. After bulldozing multiple cars on the way, Popeye and the Le Mans arrive at the station in time to incapacitate the hitman. Now that's a car chase. Then we have Gumball Rally's 1972 Ferrari 365 GTS for Daytona. Paving the way for films like Cannonball, Death Race 2000, and others, the Gumball Rally was a low-budget comedy in 1976 based around the idea of an illicit coast-to-coast race inspired by a bored businessman in New York City. The Gumball Rally features iconic cars, but no more than Franco's Ferrari Daytona, forever living in infamy for his line, "The first rule of Italian driving, what's behind me is not important," as we hear the Daytona's 4.4-liter V12 screaming in the background. Not only is the Gumball Rally famous for inspiring an entire new genre of automotive films, but has also been credited as the inspiration behind the Gumball 3000, an annual 3,000-mile coast-to-coast race with a vision to combine cars, music, fashion, and entertainment. Are you ready to swim? Cause here's The Spy Who Loves Me's 1971 Lotus Esprit S1. Largely seen as the most iconic scenes to feature a car, The Spy Who Loved Me is more familiarly known as the Bond movie with the Lotus submarine. The beautiful Lotus Esprit stole the show, like most Bond cars do, when facing its sure demise in the form of an attack helicopter. But no worries, Roger Moore as he utters the iconic line, "Can you swim?" as the wedge-shaped Esprit drives off the dock and into the ocean. At the flip of a lever, the car is seen transforming into a submarine to whisk them to safety. Then comes Superfly's 1971 Cadillac Eldorado. Contrary to popular opinion, not all iconic 70s movies cars are exotic supercars, nor are they all beefy muscle cars loaded with massive V8 engines. The 1972 blaxploitation film Superfly proves just that, taking the behemoth Cadillac Eldorado and transforming it into an outlandish, gaudy land yacht fit for the finest of cocaine dealers. The 1971 Cadillac Eldorado featured in the film is largely responsible for starting the pimpmobile movement in America, where car customizers would fit their cars with loud paint jobs, cover it in chrome, and deck out the interior with all sorts of exotic materials. In a similar sense to the lowrider movement, the pimpmobile movement gave representation to a group of people largely excluded from car enthusiasm due to status, race, and economics, quite possibly making the Superfly Cadillac one of the most important cars in any 70s movie. What a collection of iconic movie cars in the 70s. Our favorite is Bond's submarine Lotus Esprit. What's yours? Post it on the comments below. And that has been another episode of Car Inclusive. We'll see you next time.